Today on the TMZ Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the TMZ Podcast. I'm Charlie Cotton and today I'm joined by Katie Hayes. How are you, Katie?
Hello, I'm fantastic. Thanks for having me.
You're my favorite bi-coastal employee we've got.
I think I'm the only bi-coastal employee we've got, but I'll take it.
You're in New York 3 weeks and here
LA
one.
one. Yeah.
Oh.
So now you get me.
Oh, perfect.
Enjoy it. Enjoy these 5 days. Soak them up.
That's why we only got you. We got you on once a month. It's everyone's favorite
Soak 'em-
episode.
It's got to be.
All
People
right.
must write in.
Okay, I don't want to waste
This
any
is
more
going to
time.
be a good one. Let's start.
This is a very good one. I love it. Todd Chrisley, the family, is going to get a new reality show, which I think would be amazing. We're going to cover the blind side, more developments and updates in that. But off the top, we haven't talked about Vanderpump Rules in a good few days.
I'm so excited to be here for this.
Raquel or Rachel, whichever way you want to pronounce it.
I'm sticking with Raquel.
I'm sticking with Raquel as well.
Let's
It's
just make
easier.
that. Let's establish that.
Okay, good.
Right.
So Raquel Leviss did a big interview, her first interview since the Scandoval. She did it with Bethany Frankel on her podcast, Just Be, and it's super interesting what she had to say.
Explosive.
An affair is great for TV.
Yeah, and with the cast, it's almost been normalized. It's uncanny to see the hate that this specific affair brought up in people when almost every single one of the cast members have been in an affair.
Ooh, she's playing the victim card.
She's playing the victim card, which is an interesting card to play at this time. She's basically saying cheating is normalized. You know, I just want to do my job well.
She actually went on to say that when she came into the show, she looked up to other cast members to give her guidance into how she should behave, and she saw them cheating. Therefore, she cheated, but now people are really blaming her. She's coming out swinging. I kind of love it.
I love it too. I mean, it lacks a little accountability. I know she did apologize later in the podcast and la la la, but sort of like blaming your environment for your actions
Right.
often isn't the best strategy. Like, you know, I know that cheating is a big plot point, you know, on many seasons of that 10 season or however many season show. But this one was especially egregious because it was a best friend and it was like that Tom and Ariana were in a 10-year relationship as well. But for her to like do this sort of stuff, I think you just say, my bad. There's no excuses.
Yeah, I mean, I think she has to do that at this point because, right, she's not coming back to the show. And she went on to make a really interesting point, I think, about how they were villainizing her, but now they're not paying her. So this
Right.
whole interview I thought was fascinating because on one hand, she's saying, why are people villainizing me? The whole cast does this. And on the other hand, she's saying, well, I'm the big villain. I'm making them all this money. So why aren't they paying me? It's like she's got to pick a lane.
Oh, I totally agree. And we've got some of that sound now actually as well, so you can listen to it.
The network is running to the bank, like laughing, running to the bank with this scandal. And I haven't seen a single penny. And I feel like a toddler saying, it's not fair,
Right.
but it really isn't. And I feel like I've been portrayed as the ultimate villain. And the way that they always dangle that carrot in front of you, like, well, you need to tell your side of the story. Otherwise, it's going to be written for you. And that's terrifying.
That was so telling just then. She basically was saying that, like, I'm not going to go back because they're not ponying up. And,
Right.
and they're kind of almost threatening her that if you don't come back, you know, your story is going to be told for you and it might come out looking even more negative for you.
Right. I just find this so interesting because it's like you can't have it both ways, right? You can't be like, I'm not this ultimate victim. I was victimized.
Ultimate
I'm sorry,
villain.
villain. Yeah, I'm not this ultimate villain. I was victimized. And now it's like, but I want to be paid because you made me this way. And it's like, well, pick. If you want to be paid, and then you have to play the villain.
Right.
And I don't really know, we thought she was coming back and then it started getting weeks were going on and they were filming. And now it definitely seems like she's not coming back. But I am surprised that they wouldn't pony up and pay her.
Me too. Me too, because I think she's going to take her talents elsewhere, potentially. Maybe she thinks that the money she could earn from Vanderpump Rules isn't the same as the money she could earn from another reality show or some other venture. You know, obviously, they didn't offer her enough to come back. Otherwise, she said she almost did go back.
Right, because she wants to tell, because like she said, which is an interesting point, you want to be able to tell your side of the story, right? Like
Yes.
if you're not there, then everyone's just telling their side about you.
So how much of it is a mental health reason not to go back? How much of it is a financial reason not to go back? Maybe it's a mixture of the two.
I'm sure it's a mixture of the two, but also I think at the end of the day, money probably wins, right?
I
like
think so.
If the right amount was dangled in front of her, she'd probably go back.
Right. She said she was at a treatment facility. That's how she worded it, to talk about her like issues with choosing the wrong guys and that sort of stuff. I don't know what a treatment facility means. She didn't really clear up anymore where she actually has been. I don't think she was in a straitjacket in a padded room somewhere.
No, certainly not.
Like
I'm sure it
like-
was just like intense therapy and maybe some walks.
I think, but yeah,
Lots of walks.
we thought she was at some sort of rehab type. She's had a breakdown. It sounds like she might have just been going to like a nice counseling sort of resort.
Probably. I would assume so, right?
Which is needed to after
Yeah,
all of
listen,
that.
she got a lot of hate, and I could talk for hours about how people definitely hate on her, and she's definitely had more fallout than Sandoval.
Right.
Right? Because
But also, I think she's more marketable now too. Like, I think I don't want to see him on my TV particularly. I don't care to hear from him again. Her,
we still want to hear from her.
I kind of want to hear from her. I don't despise her really, you know. I think he's the worst, but that's kind of independent of this cheating scandal. I think he just seems like the worst.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out from here, because this is her reintroduction to society, Raquel's, and we'll see where she goes next.
And she's swinging for it, man. I mean, we saw her, right, for a while. She was at this rehab facility. We get pictures of her. She was very like mousy with the glasses and
Yeah.
like, poor me. And now she's coming out being like, hey, everybody else cheated. I did it too. Why am I taking all the blame? And I think she's getting a little, feisty, and I like it. I'm here for it.
I think I'm rooting for her.
Yeah.
I think I'm rooting for her.
Yeah.
Okay, on to our next story. Todd Chrisley from Chrisley Knows Best. Him and his wife, Julie, they're in jail for tax evasion and other financial crimes.
Right.
Their family, though, is getting the reality show back up full swing, which I think is a fantastic idea. Like, why, when a family goes through crisis, a reality family, cameras should be rolling the whole time, especially if you need the money.
Yeah, I mean, and Todd apparently supports it, right? Like he's saying, happy. He needs his commissary money. Like he needs that top ramen in jail, and he needs people to send him some cash to get it. And I'm actually hoping. I mean, are we gonna get like, you're receiving a collect call from?
Must be.
Gotta be, right?
Yeah.
Like he said he's not involved, right? Because he's in prison, but he's got to be involved in some way.
They'd have to be like, we're visiting Dad in jail today.
Yeah.
They probably don't allow cameras inside. Maybe they do. There's lots of prison reality shows out there.
But they allow cameras while she's picking out her outfit to go visit her dad in prison.
Yes.
And I want to see all of it.
Yes. Don't wear the jumpsuit. That'll be on the nose. It'll be something like that. I'm in.
It's so true. I'm in. I'm here
You
for
could call it Chrisley thought he knew best.
Yes, but he didn't.
But yeah, I mean, that's a bit wordy if you add that onto the end of a but ... but he didn't. That'd be a bit wordy.
It's too long for the TV scroll. You're right.
But I love this because, like, why isn't Kim Zolciak and Croy Bierman, other reality stars in crisis, why aren't their cameras up and rolling too? If you need money, and also you want to get your story out there, because Todd wants to get his story out there about bad conditions in the prison, and Kim Zolciak and they want to get their own narrative out there too. So this is a perfect play for this family, and I will watch.
Well, I always say all the time with Kim and Croy, I think the IRS should force them to do a reality TV show and then garnish those wages, and then we're square.
I like that idea. Presented by IRS.
Presented by the United States government.
I like
Uncle
it.
Sam presents Croy and Kim. I mean, I think this is a great idea. I would definitely watch because I want to see. We'll get an inside look, even though Todd's not on the show, we'll get an inside look of what's going on with him.
Todd's not on the show as it stands, but I bet they're trying to make it happen. I mean, if, as you said earlier, like money talks, maybe you can offer the prison some money. Is that something that
I'm
happens?
pretty sure that's not allowed, but
You-
we'd have to look into that. Legally, I don't think you can walk up to a prison guard and be like, "Let me get a reality set camera in here.
But
We're gonna mic you up."
They film reality shows in prisons like
I know
60
they do,
days
like
in.
Prison Break and all those, or is that a
Prison Break
scripted
is
show?
scripted, yes.
Never mind. I've always thought that was in a real prison. They do an excellent job
That
then.
was a documentary based on true events.
Oh man, what a good job those actors do.
No,
I
because-
thought that was in a real prison.
Some of the conditions there, Todd and Julie are complaining over, just sound comical. Like Julie was complaining that there's snakes in her prison slithering around the floor.
But I
I want to
that's-
see that.
Yeah, I want to see it too. And no AC, and they're in Florida in the summer. I mean, it sounds gnarly.
Especially because it's like they were like a rich family and now they're a rags family. I want
Yeah.
to see that, like the dichotomy of like, look how life was, look how life is now, look at the contrast.
It's going to be great. I think it's good, and I think it's good Todd's supportive. He's probably a little jealous that he's not on it, but I think he's going to be happy with the money flowing in and the fact that his kids are making money because he has to be worried about them
It
a little bit.
continues his star power. You
It
know
does.
what I mean?
It does. It keeps his name in the news.
It really does.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see.
We'll
what-
be tuning in.
I'll be tuning in for sure.
So much TV to watch.
Okay, on to our final story. Blindside, the movie. This is such a viral story now.
Yeah.
Since the guy, Michael Oher, who was the real life football player, who, was adopted by a white family, and then the movie The Blindside came out about their real life story. Well, he's obviously suing his former family because he said that basically they didn't give him any of the money that came
Well,
from
it
the
turns
movie.
out he wasn't adopted. They had
Turns-
placed him under a conservatorship, right? So, like, the family was in charge of all of his deals. So he's asking a judge now to take away this conservatorship. We found out he actually wasn't ever adopted by the family, and then now he's saying they never gave him cuts of the deals.
Right, I know.
Yeah.
It's an interesting story to unpack because, I mean, they say we basically didn't even earn that much money from the movie. What the Michael Oher is claiming is not true about how much money we earned from the movie, and you can check it in black and white. So there are facts out there that, they'll go one way or the other. It's in black and white if you got money or not.
I do think they'll get to the bottom of this because it does seem pretty clear cut with the facts that you'll be able to see in terms of like contracts, numbers, right? We'll be able to see. But it's the biggest thing that's happening, right, is that Twitter, or X now, is calling for Sandra Bullock, who played the mom, to have her Oscar revoked.
That is just...
It's crazy to me.
That
but
is
Twitter's
crazy.
crazy, right? We know that.
I know, but it's just
And
like...
she should have known, or she should have done something. And it's like, well,
She
nobody
should have
knew.
done
She's
something.
an actress. But her co-star is stepping up and saying, that's absolutely ridiculous.
Yes, her guy who played Michael Oher, his name is Quinton Aaron. He came to Sandra's defense saying, leave her alone. She deserves her Oscar. And God, obviously agree. My big question with this whole thing is, how come he only found out about the conservatorship this year? Michael Oher, that is, the guy suing.
That I don't know. That I couldn't figure out the timing of it, how he didn't figure it out earlier with contracts and stuff, but something must have come up.
But if you're under conservatorship, you can't even sign a lease for a car. Like, if he's been under this conservatorship since he was 18 and he's like nearly double that now, he's had to sign a lot of contracts in that time. He was a professional footballer. He, there's things in life. You sign contracts once a week nearly.
Right.
At your bank
Right.
or at your wherever. Surely if they had power of,
Yeah, because it's been how long? 13 years, 14 years since the movie came out.
he can't sign legally and lease a car. That he would have had to send that to, the Tuohys,
Right.
the white family. So I don't know how he possibly would only find out about it now. But we'll see how it plays out.
Right, and they've actually said they've accused him of trying to shake them down for $15 million. So there's a lot at play here. I think more is going to come out. We're going to get more contracts and numbers. But it's interesting to me because Quinton Aaron, first of all, is really defending Sandra Bullock, saying she can't. That's ridiculous that she has to return her Oscar. He's also still kind of riding with the Tuohys, and he's like, when we shot the movie, I met them. He didn't meet Michael until later on, but he met the Tuohys and talked to them, and he said he loved them. He said they were a great family. So he's still like kind of standing by saying he's not coming out completely on anyone's side. He's saying when I met them, they were lovely. I don't know what's going on. Now he feels bad about the situation. But he's hoping it all gets resolved, but he's basically saying leave the movie out of it.
Yes.
We did our work. Which I agree with.
Well,
Like,
yeah, but
there
you
was
won't-
no way of knowing. There was no way of, Sandra Bullock doing a deep dive and being like, let me see all the contracts. Like,
Now
she probably,
that'd be a movie if some actress who's playing a white savior is the actual real life white savior movie. I don't know.
You've got ideas.
I've got
You
ideas.
can take them to the studios, who aren't making anything right now. But when the strike ends, you take those ideas right to the studios.
You know, he's still under contract as we speak. Like, not under contract. You know, he's still under a conservatorship as we
Right.
speak.
Yeah.
As we speak.
And he's 37. It's wild. It's a wild story that there's definitely going to have to be, some sort of resolution
Yeah,
soon.
just end it. Get it over with.
Yeah. And I can't imagine a judge in any situation not immediately ending this conservatorship.
It might be nice under some circumstances to be under a conservatorship. Like, everybody just, like, take care of finances. You just sit back and relax.
Oh, that's terrible. Not if someone's screwing with your finances.
Well, yeah, except for
also,
that.
the fact that he thought, I didn't realize that you could even do, because he was older. I didn't realize you could do adult adoption. That opens up a lot of possibilities. I'm thinking, maybe Harvey will adopt me.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay, I like that.
I mean, think about where you could go to get adopted.
He's got love for you.
I mean,
Would you be a good kid?
I could use a new papa.
He's probably pretty old, so you never know when he...
I mean, listen, who knew adult adoption? I didn't know.
Yeah, well, here we go. We
But
can
I
both
hope-
be Harvey's kids.
Yeah, I think that's what we pitch next. But hopefully the family will work it all out and keep the movie out of it.
I mean, you won't be able to watch the movie without thinking about that. But now I kind of want to watch the movie and think about it.
I bet the movie numbers are going to go up.
I bet so too.
Yeah.
Okay, Katie, thank you very much
This
for joining
is fun.
me. All right, guys, we'll see you here tomorrow. Bye.